Hello, hello. Hi, Gabriel. Hi, Cal. How you guys doing today? Hopefully well. How are y'all? Shrimp Heaven now! Okay, it's been activated. I've never actually even seen that clip. I've never... All I know is Shrimp Heaven in adjacency. I know not Shrimp Heaven personally. I just watched something that enraged me. And by enraged, I mean it seems like the most absolute bananas shit I've ever seen in my whole life. And that bananas shit is that people are speedrunning the Precursor Legacy and trying to set new records for it, obviously. And the current speedrun record for the Precursor Legacy is 15 minutes. The entirety of Jak and Daxter in 15 minutes, which is insane to me. So that's crazy. But what makes it even more crazy is the hack that they use. It's not even really a hack. It's like a dev tool that somebody discovered to get that 15-minute speed run, or one of the major tricks. Hey, Tukis, what's going on? How you doing? Hopefully you've been doing well. Good to see you again. Hi, Carix. How are you? But yeah, no joke. The trick to do that is to bypass the entire claw fight. I don't even want to like explain this. I'm so enraged. I'll have to post the video into the video game section of the Discord because it is the most batshit thing I've ever seen in my whole life. Also, everybody should hydrate. Gabriel has redeemed a hydrate. I have toothpaste in my mouth right now and a fruit flavored drink, so I'm gonna wait until the toothpaste goes away. But I will continue to drink my protein refresher. I hope you enjoy your food scuttle. I just did the math for Jason and I moving to Vancouver, and it physically hurt me. I took psychic damage. Actually, this is too high. Hold on. I'm actually going to be covering most of his face here. There we go, better. I also took, I think, physical damage to my wallet. I haven't even done anything yet, and I already took damage. This perspective is awful, but this particular shot is really good. I just have to trust it. I also got insta rejected from Sony Pictures ImageWorks. They took like fucking maybe like max probably 12 hours to look at my resume, and then they just insta nuked me. It was bad. It was painful. I've never received such a fast rejection in my life. I'm actually not going to worry about mouth. Let me make sure that we're looking good from... Hi, Chips. How you doing? Oh, this positioning is awful. All right. All right, there we go. We're okay. Okay, it could be worse. It could be worse. This is such a strange, horrendous... Actually, I'm not going to do anything else. This is a horrendous angle. I am recovering from a near-death experience, and by that I mean Jace almost killed me. No, I'm just kidding. Effectively, there's this thing that you can get if you have a massage and you haven't had a massage in a really long time called massage flu, and that shit hit me super hard a couple days ago, so I had to take time off stream. I effectively spent all day yesterday just sleeping because my body was like, what the fuck? I'm like, I'm sorry! So I almost left this plane. It can happen a lot to runners where your body just like gives the fuck up and then starts doing a bunch of really weird shit. It is like the body equivalent of like an Error 404 reset, to be honest. I won't go into the details, but it was nasty. But yeah, I can take your ass out. It's very rare that I have any kind of issues like that, but that was really bad. Hopefully that means that my body is going to be a little bit more resilient over the next couple months. We'll see. Actually, I'm going to start a new goal on Ko-fi. I actually know exactly what I need to do here. I was like, what's going to be my next goal? Let me start a new one. Okay, there we go. There we go. Woo! Hopefully, let me turn back on my, is it still there? Yeah. There we go. Okay, we have a brand new Ko-fi goal. And that is moving cushion. I realized it's going to cost about $11,000 for Jason and I to move. And as of right now, I have $11,600. So if anything happens and there's an emergency, we will low-key be kind of borked. So if anybody wants to assist in getting us there, all money from commissions or money from any purchases, memberships, those kinds of things, will go immediately to the Yeetus the Fetus Fund, and by that I mean I am the fetus. So you can access my Ko-fi if you're over on YouTube. You can access it via the description below the live, or if you're on Twitch, you can of course hit !Ko-fi to donate. As of right now, my capacity for commissions is not very good. I have one slot left open in June. So if you want to snag that, you can, but keep in mind any kind of like stream doodles or things like that will be effectively pushed until June or July. Gosh, I never played Club Penguin. I know nothing about the wilds that are Club Penguin. Wow, this arm is like high-key fucked up. Hold on, let me... Here we go, better. Holy shit, that was scary looking. The model was like, would you like to break this arm? I had to really, like, fuck with the parameters in order to get this to go. Even then, I'm actually going to bring this down out further like this. Here we go, better. Gross. I slept the entire day having a hard time with my brain. That's a mood. I hope that everything works out and that you get some help soon. I can totally understand that. That was effectively what happened to me. I've been so stressed out that effectively my body was storing a bunch of cortisol. And when Jace gave me the massage, it released all of the cortisol at once. And so it gave my body the equivalent of like what I would call a pretty severe like aftermath of a panic attack. And so its response was to just like throw up immediately. Like that was the overall response was just yeet. So it's really bad. But I haven't had a massage in about 4 months, so it was literally 4 months of severe anxiety stored into my body, and it was like the fucking Exorcist for a second. But I hope that you can feel better soon, Kara, because I know exactly how you feel. And it's really hard. Hold on, how does this look? I'm trying to figure out how this fabric would move. All right, so we're going to curl this up like this. Which is kind of interesting because I don't think he has any kind of pants on underneath this. Also, everybody should sit up and stretch. Make sure you're taking care of your posture. I was shrimped really bad just then, so thank you for that. Oh, Da Ku. No, they did wear Ku underneath. Ming Dynasty Ku. Let me figure out if he's wearing his Da Ku. Yeah. Yep. So never mind. He's wearing pants under there. He's not gonna just like accidentally flash somebody. Good to know. It would be funny, though, if he did flash this dude before beating the shit out of him. That would be kind of hilarious. Not gonna lie. Okay. I mean, anything is possible. To be fair, I recognize that the pants that Wukong wears technically do have an open crotch on them. That is, like, historically accurate. And it's technically like it's crossed over. So the way that these pants historically used to work is that you would, they would cross in the back. So they create kind of an X because public latrines, like we're talking like this is like Ming Dynasty. So this would have been during the Renaissance. But there was no plumbing obviously and no, typically public latrines were not a thing. So you would be going in outhouses or holes in the ground in the rural areas of like, you're just fucking roughing it in some cases. So these pants were designed for both genders to effectively cross in the back, and when you had to go to the bathroom, you would literally just pull your crotch open, reveal everything underneath, and then just go to the bathroom. So while things are concealed, historically, it would have been a naked booty situation for everybody involved. I don't know if those specific kind of pants have like a specific name. I love how I googled Chinese open crotch pants and the first thing that comes up is the Wikipedia for the pants, and there's a photo of a little boy wearing open crotch pants at a park in Beijing, and his whole ass booty cheeks are out. He's like 2. But nowadays, these split pants are worn predominantly by toddlers. It makes it really easy for kids to go to the bathroom in public, in public spaces. You don't need diapers, in other words. It helps the kids be very, very clean. It is pretty common for the kids' booty cheeks to be all over the place. That is so funny, though. But they were predominantly a rural use. That's so funny. Sometimes they are paired with diapers, but it also makes getting the fucking diapers super easy. But the oldest known pair was about 3,000 to 3,300 years ago, roughly the 13th to 10th century BCE, and were discovered in China's Tarim Basin and feature a specialized cross crotch used for horse riding. Found in the Yonghai graveyard, these wool pants were designed with reinforced crotches and straight legs for nobility or mobility. Whoo, I can read. So yeah, they were actually because they didn't have good designs for like horse riding. There was also that. So, kind of interesting. Fun historical garment factoid there. The fucking opening Google and just seeing a little fucking 2-year-old's booty cheeks was the funniest thing that's happened to me today. Kids are so funny. And I love how, because it's like so commonplace, like if you see a little naked booty baby in like mainland China, it's not really that big of a deal. Like, I love how everybody's like, look, the kids suffer and so do we. It's so funny. I just like how everybody, I don't know, nobody gives a shit. Somewhere someone's like, a baby's gotta do what a baby's gotta do. I don't like that much. We're gonna bring the boot in. So funny. Alright, let me get this pant going here. We're gonna have, this is a breakaway panel, so we're gonna have this whole thing explode out of this frame here. Knowing that there are people out there speedrunning Jak and Daxter the Precursor Legacy in 15 minutes literally makes me enraged, guys. I don't know. Okay, not bad. Let me keep building up this skirt fabric, because I think that there's not enough of it here. Oh, I have never played Shadow Fight 2. I don't think I've ever heard of that game. But I'm not really like a super huge mobile game player, or when I do play mobile games, I play like puzzle games typically. I was like really into AFK Arena for a while. But yeah, not so much anymore. You found soup. Soup. How does it feel to be Soup Lord? What kind of soup did you acquire? Hopefully the good soup. Okay, there we go. Let me turn this off now so I can see. I actually want to do one more little... I'm going to do a little tuft of hair there. There we go. Better. His mobility is insane. That's all I gotta say. Alright. That's cool. Yeah, a lot of mobile games are produced by Asian studios overall. What I'm noticing, unfortunately, is that it's resulting in a shitload of AI ending up in mobile games, which is obnoxious. And companies won't use it for everything. It won't be like, oh, the whole game is AI. The mechanics themselves are still solid, but the actual artwork for the game, so whether that's like loading menus or avatars or things like that, are all AI. And I've also noticed this trend in mobile puzzle games, at least, where they effectively create fake leaderboards, and they're like, yeah, you need to like try and beat 100 players on this leaderboard so that way you can get extra prizes and shit, but the other players don't exist. There's like nothing going on there, and the leaderboards will like miraculously, it'll tell you that it's gonna reset in like X number of hours, but the leaderboards will reset in like 30 minutes, every 30 minutes. And so there is no leaderboard. It's just a fucking way to like ad farm the fuck out of people, which is really annoying. And that's something that's been, I think, popping up within like the last really like 6 to 8 months that I've noticed. But yeah, obviously any games pre-ChatGPT are not going to have that problem, but definitely something that I've noticed. Asia is really the mobile game capital of the world, though. They're very, very good at what they do. Okay, that's a fun pose. Okay, let me see. I might want to... get this going here as well. I just need some kind of... So, Webtoons, speaking of comics updates, Webtoons finally fucking stepped into the 21st century and gave creators on the back end an ability to fucking view their comments. I haven't had access to that, literally, for a while. And, they finally gave me access to that. Okay, hold on. I need to look this up. Did you hear about what Love and Deep Space was up to recently? I've actually never played, so no, I do not keep up on their news. Oh my god, not that moment when you look up a bear persona and it looks like a fucking dog. I hate to be this guy, and I love the furry community. I really do. But I need a good majority of furry artists to learn how the fuck to draw other species other than a dog. Does that make sense? And I love you guys. I really do. I'm going to be having some furry adopts come out, and all of the proceeds from those furry adopts also are going to be used for moving out. Oh, I have to show you guys the shrimp dog monstrosity. Hold on. Speaking of that shit, hold on. I found the most horrifying fucking shrimp persona of all time. Oh my god, it's so scary. And I'm glad that, like... Yeah, it ain't you guys. It ain't you guys. But holy shit, yeah, you Google, like, bear persona, it's like they all look like wolves. Or, like, whatever the fuck this is. I think about this guy in my nightmares. And to be fair, it does say it's a shrimp-dog hybrid, but... I don't know. A lot of other shrimp personas are like this, where they just have dog legs. Because I don't think that a lot of people know or understand how to make anatomy interesting. Like, a good majority of them are like these things. They're like fluffy shrimp. And now, to be fair, I think that this is like a closed species, so there was like 1 million of them made. But this is labeled as just a mantis shrimp. This one is not labeled as a hybrid. There are so many dog shrimp. Or dragon shrimp? But yeah, this fluffy shrimp is, I think, a closed species. So 99% of them. I just need some regular shrimps. I want to do a shout out to Lava Gale about the shrimp. Oh, we got rid of Shrimp Heaven. Sorry, that was my bad. Shout out to Lava Gale over the shrimp. I just hate closed species. Yeah, they're crazy. I'm not obviously in the furry community super heavily, but was learning from Lava about closed species as we're getting ready to, like, make adopts. The both of us are, like, getting into the adopt game, and they've been so helpful in helping me navigate that situation. And they are thinking about making a closed species, but it's like, it's one, or I guess a semi-closed species would be more accurate, where it's like you can put as much modifications as you want on it, but, like, the species is going to come from a specific, you know, origin point. But, like, closed species in general are high-key kind of crazy. It reminds me of the early day of Labubu. Does that make sense? Like somebody decided somewhere that it's like, I'm going to make this thing and only I can have it. It feels very Disney-y, and I don't like it. I'm like, Disney already makes it hard enough to fucking, like, make shit. And so, it's hard. It's like, why gatekeep people? I don't know. So, point being, none of my adopts are going to be closed species. That is my pledge. Actually, Lava just made a giraffe. Don't fucking Google giraffe sonas either. Holy shit. Lava and I went on a journey to try and figure out what the least underserved furry species were. Like, what are ones that are not being made? And they are making all of their adopts off of, like, underserved or quote unpopular species. A giraffe was one of them. It was like, you can't really find very many giraffe sonas ever. But the ones that are out there are AI monstrosities. They're so fucking horrifying. A couple people got some really good ones, but, like, they're very few and far between. They are horrifying. Or they have weirdly short necks. I'm not really sure. Oh no, Chips, did you Google it? Oh no. Like part of me wants to Google it to torture you guys. I don't know. Oh god, let me see if I can find the worst one. Okay, again, some of them super cute. Some of them are really cute. Let me see if I can find a really bad one. Actually, ooh, well. Now this is AI. I was like, that one actually looks pretty good. Like, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why? 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 Fucking AI ass. Oh my god. And these people are selling these. Oh my god, the AI. Oh my god. Why? Why? No, for real, why? Hi, Gaby. We're looking at terrifying AI. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, like, it's just wild. It's wild that they're like, I love how the AI just doesn't understand how furry should stand. I also love how this one in particular was labeled as fat furry giraffe. And I'm like, what about that? Her back is broken. I think that... Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, wait. This one might not be AI. Never mind. Never mind. We're okay. From a distance, it looked terrifying, but I think we're all right. Yeah, and some of... Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Ugh. Ugh. This one actually is not as bad. It could be worse. Oh, some of them are bad, though. Oh, God. Oh, I found it. I found the treasure trove. I found the treasure trove. Oh, I'm scared. Okay, I'm closing out of here. How you doing, Gamby? I'm scared. Fucking terrified. Actually, I need to move this mouth down a little bit. Whew, yeah, so that's all that I learned. The less popular a fursona is, the more likely you are to find horrifying AI, because I think that the community is like so underserved that they're like, man, I need an image of my fursona really bad. And so rather than going and finding an artist or being afraid to commission an artist because you never know if they're going to be able to draw the species that you need, then what ends up happening is you make whatever fucking monstrosities those are. Terrifying. Actually, I'm going to open this guy's mouth. I am doing okay. Actually, surprisingly, badger fursonas are more popular than you think. But yeah, I'm doing all right. I had a sick day yesterday because I was not feeling super good, but I'm feeling much better now, thankfully. Hello? Thank you. Yeah, spider fursonas are also really common. I just did a commission, actually, for Lava of their spider. Hold on, let me open it up. Their spider, I think Zale is the name of the character. Yeah. I just did this one for them. It's like a blue-toed tarantula, I think. Or whatever that one is. But this is also one of those other underserved ones. But I think with the popularity of Has-Been, people are now drawing spiders just in that way, which is not a bad choice. I like how the bear face makes faces. I don't know. I don't understand the logic of this man. Yeah, I'm gonna try and effectively. We're going full furry town here, because my goal is to try and sell as many adopts as I possibly can, so that way I don't have to like go back to Remcad, because that's my ultimate fear. like this. There we go, better. I really don't want to continue to work at that place. So that means that I have to retrain the TikTok algorithm. And we're going to try and get it to show me to the furries. We'll see how it goes. Oh, but yeah, also, speaking of other announcements too, my Backer Kit campaign is now, let me do some math really quick. It's now 30% funded. So if you guys are interested in following my campaign, you can either click the link in the description below to go to my link tree if you're over on YouTube, or you can go to the link in my Twitch to access my Backer Kit for my Court of Snakes anthology, or not anthology, omnibus, that's what I'm looking for. So if you're looking for a new book to read, and if you're as pissed off at the US government as I am, you can back the campaign there, but we are officially 30% funded. So any help I can get getting to 100% before launch would be massively appreciated. Also, everybody should hydrate. Oh yeah, let me do my double hydrate to make up for that hydrate I didn't do earlier, now that my mouth doesn't taste like toothpaste. But yeah, I'm very, very stoked about that. Also, I got to get over to the bookstore today because I am the featured author over at a local bookstore, which is crazy. I've been having the most massive self-doubt bullshit hitting me lately. The unnecessary amounts of doubtful thoughts has been just like the most fucking annoying shit of all time. Truly. So I'm trying to kick that shit to the curb. It's not really working, but I can kind of dream. Let's see, we got a shoe. This guy is getting eaten to his death. I did hydrate. I actually double hydrated to make up for the one that I missed earlier because my mouth was toothpastey. But now I'm not toothpastey, so I did double hydrate. Everybody else should drink some kind of liquid as well. Yeah, I'm trying to not be super anxious about a bunch of shit, but it's not really working. Choo! So I'm kind of just vibing. Let's do this. You know that moment when you get yeeted directly to space? I'm gonna have to do the, like, special effects and stuff later. Mostly what's killing me is these poses are ridiculous. All right. It was a lot of the planning that took forever for this page particularly, but I think we're doing okay. To be fair, this guy lasted about 4 seconds longer than his friends, so hooray! This guy deserves a raise. He's fine. He's fine. He's like, Father, help! I have to have some kind of ground plane here, to be honest, because otherwise shit's just confusing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as well over here. Yeah. Not bad. I might move this panel just a little bit this way, actually. Oh, I forgot that this has a grid function. I didn't even know. I hit that hotkey and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Okay. We're going to do another one of those silhouette panels here. I keep trying to tell my students that they can use a grid and it's okay. Like, if you need to use a grid to draw more accurately, please just do it. And all of them go, no! And then they just try and, like, freeball shit, and then it's, it ain't good. And then you end up with little monstrosities, and it's like, guys, you could have just used the grid. I promise it'll be okay. It's for drawing more accurately. So if you have your reference image and you see that, like, a specific thing falls in a certain grid, you effectively put the same grid on your own drawing, and then you can use it to draw back and forth. If you're interested in seeing kind of how that method works, you can always Google how to use a grid in drawing. And it'll show you how the grid method is used. No, not 3D grid for backgrounds. Just for making sure your reference is accurate. It's really useful for, like, doing hyperrealism. Or if you're not very good at drawing, like, drawing from reference just in general. So one of the assignments for the class that I teach is to do a master study. Their options are Raphael's Sistine Chapel, Cherubs, or Sistine Cherubs, Rembrandt's, like, Old Man in a Chair, or whatever that one is called. Waterhouse's, like, that one of the lady looking despondently out at the ocean, or, let me see, what else? What's the other one? A Caravaggio. There's like a woman sitting in a chair, but they have to copy it one for one exactly, and using the grid is a really easy way to make sure your shit is as accurate as humanly possible. Especially if your observational skills aren't that great. You, of course, can do it without the grid if you have decent, like, observational skills, which is what they're training, but they're also, like, freshmen, so they don't have necessarily, like, the best observational skills on the planet as of right now. But I keep telling them, I'm like, just do it. Just use the grid. And then they don't. And then their little things look all terrifying. They're all scary. They're all scary Terry. But yeah, it's a method that I would definitely highly recommend if you are drawing for the first time. It was a method that was taught to me by my uncle, actually. He was like a professional sign painter, and in order to make sure his lettering was 100% accurate, he would also use a grid as well. So he'd have his little sketch, and the sketch would have a grid on it, so that would be like an 8x10 piece of paper. And then when he'd go to paint the big-ass sign, he would use the grid that way. Also, hey, Pizza Lover, what's going on? Free ball, the horrors beyond my understanding. That's what it feels like sometimes. It's scary. Nice! Great job making progress on storyboards. I need to do that for my portfolio. I don't know what's happening to me. My optimism for getting into the video game industry is slowly being sucked out of me. I felt a renewed sense of optimism applying for stuff in Canada, and then I realized that that was the optimism was unwarranted. I was hoping that with the master's degree and added experience that that would help. So far, nothing yet. So I'm trying to not be sad. It ain't working though. Yes, yeah, I have 2 master's degrees. I have 4 degrees. And I still don't have a job. We love the US economy. Actually, technically I can't say that. I shouldn't say that I don't have a job. I have a ramshackle collection of highly advanced part-time jobs, contract jobs that do result in pretty decent work. But it's not necessarily an industry job like I had hoped for when I went to school. It is a little bit different than that. Yeah, I have 3 degrees in art. I have a bachelor's in game art, a bachelor's in illustration, and a master's in visual development. And then I have 1 degree in publishing, for book publishing specifically. I also have a shitload of student debt, so I don't know. Take it as you will. It's not the most amount of student debt. Hey, that's awesome though, Pizza Lover. That's great. Graphic design is a much more secure field, but also you can use graphic design for literally everything. Like, I use graphic design a lot in my book, like marketing and book publishing career. I use it almost every day, so it is a very useful art skill to have. It is not my favorite thing in the world, but it is useful as shit. So useful. But I use it also for comics too, every day. Am I the best at it? Probably not, but does it still help me? Definitely. It's a lot more secure in terms of an industry as well. It's a little bit easier to find like freelance work. The animation industry is just booty hole. Would not recommend. Yeah, totally. Well, lots and lots of practice. Absolutely, Pizza Lover. It's about sticking with a craft until you feel very comfortable with it. Absolutely. Find good workflows. Keep going even though stuff might be hard. And eventually it'll happen. Eventually things will go. Oh my god, this is such a tiny drawing. Yeah, do your best to just, like, yeah, keep your chin up for sure, is the overall vibe. So we'll see. Hopefully I can apply to smaller animation studios. I recognize right now I've only really applied to, like, big name animation studios, and I probably just flat out don't have enough experience to do that yet. Because they're looking for, like, 2 years in the gaming or the animation industry minimum typically. So I have to just find a smaller studio that would be willing to take me. Because unfortunately I can't do an unpaid internship. So we'll see if I get lucky. If not, my ass is going to be doing what I've been doing, which is about 1 billion jobs at the same time, and then praying that something eventually sticks. I am definitely getting really sick of the job insecurity, though. I'm very tired. You know, based on how this is positioned, I'm gonna actually, well, no, that's better. I recognize it's not like 100% accurate, but I like it more. Sometimes you go and do something and it's just kind of uggo, and that's okay. Don't think about it too hard. Yeah, I love the Wind Waker style. I think, personally, at least for me, Wind Waker is one of my favorite Legend of Zelda games for sure. It's very pretty. Also, too, a super efficient game because it's pretty low res, all things considered. It's a good tactic for indie games. Also, speaking of that shit, for everybody that voted on the poll, looks like I'm developing an indie game next. So thanks for that. So that's probably going to be my next big-ass project outside of books. So once I finish writing the Von Altus novellas, we're going to be face first in game dev. And y'all picked the thing that's the harder project. I'm scared. I scaredy. But that's okay. It'll be fun. And who knows, maybe it'll be the thing that actually gets my fucking career going. We'll see. Whoops. There we go. I forgot his fucking Veets. Oh my god, Gabriel, you're right. No, I've seen so many disaster projects. I think I'll be okay. It's just going to be interesting trying to tackle this project because it's definitely the harder of the two out of the projects that I had listed. One was a nonogram or like a Picross game, and then this is a visual novel. So it's going to be a lot more complicated, but what's going to be tricky about it is that my goal is to create something that has interesting combat mechanics as well. So I'm going to be working in Unity with Nanny Novel and using the visual, like, novel style dialogue as like a vehicle for other mechanics. And so I don't know if it's going to be totally point and click or like, I would say maybe call it like map navigated. Or if there's going to be world map movement, like what's going to be going on there. But I really need good horror game mechanics. I'm probably going to be handling all of the art myself, Pizza Lover. Mostly just to save on cost because I don't have any money to be able to pay people. Also, too, for stylistic reasons, I really need everything to look the same. But this is going to be, if I can even get, I'm going to have like a... I might do like a bare naked like thing with just weird little floaty assets. It really depends on if I can actually get my shit together and do game development. So I don't have any idea what the production pipeline is going to look like. So as of right now, I'm going to be working mostly by myself, even in areas of like music production and things like that. So, yeah, as of right now, I'm more of a solo person, but I do appreciate the offer. And I won't be working on that for a minute. I'm going to be finishing up some novellas, and then I have to structure a plan, a game dev plan for it. I've been meaning to work on this since my thesis, so it's been about a decade. But yeah, I'm not super concerned about the coding itself. Thankfully, Unity and Nanny Novel in particular, like I've already experimented with coding visual novels in Python, and I created a working demo of a different game. So coding is not necessarily super difficult. The thing that makes game dev difficult is the sheer scale of it, and making sure that I don't overextend on scope is going to be the hard thing. Because I have a vision for this game, and it's going to be very much like a situation of I have to be able to know what my mechanics are going in. And Unity is, I think, going to be the best thing for that. It's got a lot of like node-based coding, which is a little bit easier for me than what's the alternative that I'm looking for? Any kind of like code-based, like text-based code. I know C++ and I know Python, but node-based coding overall is going to be a lot easier. Oh yeah, I'm not going to be working in 3D at all. It's going to be entirely 2D as a visual novel. So again, I'm not really worried about the art production of it, because obviously I can whip out art super easily. This is something that I'm very comfortable with. It's more so, how do I get the game and mechanics to do what I need it to do? And also, too, the goal is to have the game be something more than just a standard visual novel experience, because while I do love visual novels, I find them to be insanely uninspired when it comes to mechanics. Like, a lot of the visual novels are just like, here's a story and a bunch of gay boys kiss, and like that's all there is to it. But because I'm creating a horror, I really do need some kind of mechanics that are going to differentiate the game from other visual novels as well. So while it has visual novel elements, it's not necessarily going to be just a visual novel, and that's where that's going to be kind of tricky. But I'm excited for the challenge. It's just going to be kind of interesting. I have the entire story plotted, and so then it'll also be just writing the script as well. Script I'm less nervous about, too. That can be kind of quick, especially because I've been working on this for a while. Also, everybody should hydrate. I actually just took a drink of my liquids. I will not be dehydrated today. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Yeah, because I would not consider... Well, I don't know. I guess visual novels could be considered a text-based game. But definitely, I'm not looking to make something like a true, like, old-school text-based RPG. Where those were like, you enter the dungeon and the entire room is illuminated in an eerie glow. You know, what do you choose? It was, those old text-based games were very like choose your own adventure, which were cool. But what I love about certain games, I'm a huge fan of Undertale. I don't know if necessarily the mechanics that I want to go with, of course, are turn-based combat. I think that they were very, very smart when they went in and did turn-based combat as the combat. It's an easy type of combat to code, especially because there's not really a lot going on. With, like, in the case of Undertale, you also have, like, non-combative ways to get around situations. Like, you can just continue to try and hug the monster, for example, and then eventually it'll just go away. So that makes things a little bit easier. But because I have a horror game, the main character is effectively coping with trauma through music. So she has headphones on all the time. And originally, the game that I was going to develop with a team that kind of fell through were mechanics very similar to like Little Nightmares in how that moves. It's a side-scroller puzzle game, puzzle platformer, truly, would be how I would describe that. But that requires a lot more coding power. And then also, too, unfortunately, yeah, again, the team fell through. So now the question is if I don't have to worry about 3D modeling or cutscenes, how do I instill the same kind of horror environment into the game using combat mechanics? Like, How do I effectively jump scare the player with combat without it being annoying? And how do I have tactical areas that the player needs to navigate through? Does this thing look a little bit more like Little Nightmares? You know, it starts to become kind of an interesting developmental question, and I haven't answered a lot of those yet. So first, the main thing is going to be mechanics development. What does it look like? How does the game function at the end of the day? What are the overall, what is the goal of the game? Is it narrative, story over mechanics? Like, all of those things become pretty consequential before I get started. So we'll see. But I like to plan out my shit as far out as humanly possible so I know what's coming. I realize this guy's got an undercut. I forgot about that. It's time for a snacky. If you have not had a snacky yet, please go get some kind of food. Yeah, nice. Those 2D style games are they're just super nostalgic, I think, to me. I really love them. But also, too, to some extent, the sprites are easier to code, I think. I love 3D, but I feel like, too, there's a lot of heavy reliance on it. I've noticed that indie has a lot more of a resurgence in beautiful 2D games, and I love that. Oh my god, Magic Spatulas. It's so good. It is a very cute character design, though. Yeah, ideally, I don't know. Yeah, I can't. It's tough because I haven't played a lot of, like, horror visual novels. And I have one saved in my Steam that I probably should just invest in, and then just play for research purposes. What is the thing called? Steam's updating. Give it a second. It's freaking out. Because there are, like, fun visual novel games that have, like, suspenseful premises. Like, Doki Doki, I know, is, like, one of the ones. But I do believe that relies more on, like, writing and narrative horror than it does on actual horror mechanics itself. Reverse 1999. That is cool. I have not heard of that game. But any cool Chinese theme events, I'm always invested. I love that. Okay, let me see. What is that game called? It's on my wish list. It's called... Oh, She Dreams Elsewhere might be cool, but it's not out yet. Slay the Princess. That's the name of this game. It's got a great art style. But effectively, the goal is to... the princess is evil. And the goal is to kill the princess. So, super creepy. It does have horror elements in it. I love the illustration style, but it is a visual novel in its essence. So I don't know if there are any kind of mechanics that would result in something interesting. So that's what makes me nervous about this, is I can't find a game, as far as I'm aware, that has something going on like what I have envisioned in my head. And Undertale is really, like, the closest to that. So if anybody knows any scary as fuck visual novel games, let me know. And I guess I will suffer and play them for research purposes. Okay, I can't forget this stupid bastard has gloves. He's got his little edgelord gloves. Oh, the Bob Rafey hand. How I love you. So he has, like, I think, crop pants on. I don't remember what the fuck is going on. Corpse Party. Let me look it up. Oh, cool. Carrix. Okay, so you might be a good person to ask. Okay, because it looked amazing in terms of premise. Were there any mechanics other than just visual novel stuff? Or was it just like a traditional visual novel with horror themes? I'm assuming you're talking about there's a couple of corpse parties here. Are we talking about this corpse party? There's a couple of corpse parties. This one, of course, has like sprite mechanics, it looks like. There's also this corpse party. Ah, this is a remake. This is a remaster. I see, I see. Yeah, and this is interesting. This is interesting. So now, this might be actually a good one. I'm going to add this to my wish list. Yeah, because this is just the remaster. Because this might give me a good idea of how to structure cutscenes and things like that. Not a bad suggestion. Ah, branching paths. Okay, so yeah, then that doesn't describe... Thank you, that helps clarify things a little bit. So from what I understand, it doesn't really have any additional mechanics. Because what I'm thinking about is, of course, adding things like Undertale-style combat, although, again, turn-based might not be the direction that I go for that. So something that would effectively pull the player out of that visual novel format, because what I find not necessarily the most thrilling about visual novels is not necessarily that you can't build suspense with visual novels, because you absolutely can. It starts to get really creepy. As with any good horror writing, you know, the goal becomes to scare the player with theme and tone, and so that's more of a writing thing than it is an actual mechanics thing. Versus a game like Slender Man: The 8 Pages relies on almost impossible to beat enemy mechanics to make the player afraid. Or Soma, same thing. You got enemies fucking jumping out at you like 24/7. I'm more of a fan of horror games like Silent Hill, where the enemies are less aggressive and it's more about the actual ambiance of the thing. The original vision that I had for this was the main character. You have to make a physical choice when you're working with the character herself. Her name's Alessa, inspired by Silent Hill in that way. But Alessa listens to music to cope with trauma, so her natural response to being freaked out by stuff is to put in her music. The problem with that is that the enemies, of course, can sneak up on you when you can't hear. So you have to use, effectively, music as psychic damage to get rid of enemies and make sure that they get away from you. But, of course, again, the music becomes kind of a double-edged resource where it's like, well, if I turn my music on, I can't hear, and then enemies can sneak up on you and jump you, which is horrifying. So the question is how do I translate that into a visual novel? But the corpse party idea where you're moving around might be a good idea. I just have to figure out, you know, I guess the trick is I'm not a huge fan of the sprite the 16-bit or the 8-bit aesthetic. Not that it's a bad aesthetic, I just don't think it would fit with my game. So then the question becomes is how do I apply, if that's the case, like 2D sprite-based mechanics? Because maybe it is a side-scroller. Maybe it is a side-scroller like Little Nightmares, but in a more limited sense. It starts to become kind of a structural problem. And it does mean that I'm going to have to learn a bunch of new skills in order to be able to do this, but that's half the fun. So it can be kind of an interesting challenge in that way. Why do I consistently forget what this guy looks like? I'm like, I have no idea. I haven't drawn this guy enough to be like, I know what you look like. You're so inconsequential, sir. Come here, buddy. But yeah, that's awesome. I might look at Slay the Princess for writing purposes. Writing and suspense. And then I also have to really utilize... music is going to be a huge part of this project as well, because I want to be able to have music be interactive. And there are some artists that I really like Vienna Ditto. Vienna Ditto has free, royalty-free music that they released. I actually have the playlist for that thing. Where is it? Let me go look for it. There it is. This is the kind of musical theme that we're looking for here, but where's Vienna Ditto at? Let me find them. Where are you, Vienna? Yeah, so this is Vienna Ditto. So all of this music is free, which is super useful for me. So I could have music like this playing through Alessa's, like, it's set in the early 2000s, and so it would be iPod in this particular case, or MP3 player. But I really like the creepy indie music sound. And then I want to really design good mechanics that would allow the player to effectively do combat with music, or with the volume of the music. That's still super hard. But yeah, thank you, Gabriel, for that great suggestion. I will definitely check that one out, because I do think that fits kind of the genre of what I'm looking for. Because Doki Doki, as far as I understand, I'll have to ask Jace because he's watched more playthroughs of it. But as far as I understand, Doki Doki doesn't have any other extra mechanics like navigating the map. No, I think about other visual novels that I played, like Dream Daddy or things like that, where you're just kind of navigating through the situation linearly, and you don't really have, as the player, any kind of freedom to walk around the map or anything. You're just kind of letting the story carry you in that way, which is a fun experience, but I really want this game to stand out in terms of having different mechanics. I'm very curious. And then it's going to be a lot of me learning to code via UE, or not UE5, Unity, which I was not trained in Unity. I was trained in UE4 and then UE5, so it's a little bit of a course correct here, but Unity's got a lot of the same accessibility as Unreal Engine, so I'm not really worried about that. Yes, yeah, and I did see the trailer for the original. I'm glad that they were able to remake it. That's pretty cool. I love it when people can do that. I love this guy crawling away for his life. He's like, please, holy shit. I feel like I got hit by a truck. It's like, maybe don't. Yeah, I think that's maybe where I've heard of it, Gabriel, was the anime. Also, speaking of anime that definitely, it's not anything to do with this particular conversation, but I did find the Ghost Stories English dub on Hulu, I think. So I might go and do that and use that to bring myself out of crippling depression, I think. Shit's terrifying. But yeah, this is the overall vibe. It's very weird. Like, obviously, this music is not... I do like her style, I think. Or their style, I should say, truly. Their style is really unique. And it's... I would like something to have a very specific music and visual identity. So I'd be looking at games like Little Misfortune. I think I would really want to change up the art style compared to what I typically do, so that way it does have a super unique visual identity. Not necessarily so adorable as like Little Misfortune, but I'm going to have to do a lot of concept art and sketching in order to make sure that my viz dev is like ready to go, and I'm going to probably also be making a dev diary for it, so that way I can market it on TikTok effectively, because if I can get it more traction on my game before it launches, and then make sure that the product is just good as shit, I'm gonna be in a really good spot. Make them watch me. I really like this story a lot too. It's really about the horror of being a teen in an uncertain world and dealing with the mistakes of your ancestors or previous generations before you. I don't mean to alarm you, but there's a boogeyman inside the house. It's me. Me and that guy have conversations nightly. Oh god, ghost stories. Yeah, it's horrifying. So I really want to watch that. I haven't watched that thing the whole way through. I've seen, like, clips of bad dialogue, and I'm like, bro, I need to know. I need to understand, you know? The vibes are immaculate. This guy is unconscious. From a distance, this man has Squidward nose, but I don't really care. He's okay. He's fine. I think this guy's dead, actually. Like, if anybody had to ask, I think he's dead. This guy may quit. Maybe he quits being a demon. He's like, you know what? Actually, not worth it. He's like, Grandma, I'm tired. I'm going home. God, there are so many figures in this fucking panel. I just have to keep telling myself that this is the last one. It's okay. It's alright. Actually, I'm just going to color this in manually. I have the power to do that. And then also I'm going to do this. Hold on, let me do a little swirly here. Oh, he's fucking... He's alright. Yes, given specific magic. So that's a pretty big part of this comic, is that you can reverse the demon curse a couple of ways. The first would be to convert to Buddhism. So that's a big theme of Journey to the West. And by converting to Buddhism, they definitely don't mean it in like a very like Western way where you just like, you're like, I love Jesus, and then you're better. That's not really how Buddhism works. You have to accept the precepts, is what they're called, and then stick to those tenets for the rest of your life. So that could be different things for different people. So that's like being abstinent from alcohol, abstinent from sex, changing your course of your actions so that way you're not an evil fucking murderer anymore. You know, actually truly atoning for the stuff that you've done. And through hard work and sometimes several lifetimes, you can actually fix the effects of your demonism, and you can go back to being normal. So there's a lot of demons in this that end up getting jobs for Guan Yin, so that way they can atone for that. The other way, and a good way to like quick stop the demonism, is by using magic. And so in Sean's case, she's got this sick bolo tie now that's been blessed by the Buddha. And she can use certain mantras and sutras to blast the demon out of people, which is pretty fun. But that's kind of like a last resort method, and the Buddha definitely prefers the slow conversion option. And so that's actually why people like Bo are there. My underlying like meta theory is that this actually takes place after Journey to the West. So Journey to the West has already happened, and Sean is a reincarnation of the Tripitaka and doesn't know it. And there's this lady, this mythological figure. What is her name? Lady of Forgetfulness. Her name is Mengpo. Mengpo. She's the Chinese goddess of forgetfulness, and she serves what is called the soup of oblivion at Naihe Bridge before people are reincarnated. And so she is at the 10th station of Diyu, which is Chinese hell, specifically the Bridge of Forgetfulness, to administer the brew before you are reincarnated. And so, in my version, Wukong also has been given this soup of forgetfulness and doesn't know, before he was like shoved into the mountain, or the fast food restaurant in this case. So they all have already done this before, but when new issues arise, or they may have all had issues that the Buddha thought couldn't be unlearned unless they forgot. So they've all been reincarnated to some extent. Pigsy Jubaji as a cop, Leon Sha Wujing has been reincarnated as a very wealthy plastic surgeon, and so it's like same story, different time. So in their instances too, they may have reverted back to demonhood for some reason. I don't want to spoil too much, so I won't say too much, but like that's a pretty common theme throughout Journey to the West, is just like the cycle of rebirth and being a better person the second time around. Black Myth Wukong also covers this to some extent, the video game. So if being a better person doesn't work, just shoot them with lasers, I think is the overall vibe of this comic. Because the Buddha, at the end of the day, no matter what, the goal is redemption, you know? So no matter how shitty a person has been, it's not like a Christian style of like demonic exorcism or anything. There's no permadeath in this universe. You kind of get reset. And you start over. But I think the overall vibe of this comic really is like about modern people forgetting who they are and forgetting the importance of standing together as a community and being there for each other. Because at the end of the day, the reason these demons became demons was because they were abandoned. But it's hard. Let me drag this back over here. Yeah, definitely in this case, I feel like Jubaji and Sha Wujing in particular, they didn't get like what I would call like a full reincarnation, right? Because they're just being given the soup of forgetfulness, and I think that they took this willingly, as far as like in my story, I think, as my story is concerned. Because it's likely that the Buddha would have approached them at their stations in heaven after their last bout of demon fighting, you know, and said, hey, you know, these demons are problematic, and maybe Wukong did something and fucked up, and he's, you know, he needs to be retaught certain lessons, and the Buddha asks them, you know, like, are you willing to do that journey again if it means, you know, forgetting and starting over? And I think all of them just collectively said, yeah, you know, for the greater good of people, for the greater good of everyone, it doesn't matter if we forget, because in the end we will remember, we'll know who we are, we will return to our, I believe the phrase in Buddhism is the true Dharma, which is, and actually that might be, yeah, the Saddharma, authentic direct teachings of the Buddha. Yeah, that lead to liberation of suffering. So yeah, no matter what, you will always go back, you know, always go back to the true Dharma, even if you forget. So it's in people's nature to be good, I guess, is the lesson there. No matter how fucked up people get or how far you stray from that true Dharma. But I don't know, maybe I'm a hippie. I went to a Hare Krishna temple one time, and that kind of changed my perspective for life, I feel like. Hare Krishna is not affiliated with Buddhism in any way, but that was definitely one of the most impactful moments of my life religiously for me. But my dad also went to India and had a religious experience as well. My dad would be dead if not for Hinduism, Buddhism, and India in itself. Like, I legit wouldn't have a dad. So all of this philosophy is, like, really, really important to me. But yeah, I think that that's what's happening. I haven't written that part of the script yet, so I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get there. But that's the general vibe, is I think that these guys made this decision to do this rodeo round 2. And they may be called on it, or, you know, to do it again, right? It'll be effectively a lesson of the cycle. But also, everybody should drink some liquids. Get some hydration station in you. Let me see here. I don't remember what this building looks like. Okay. But yes, you can definitely be cured of demonism. And it's, what's sad about this is that it's actually quite easy to do so. And I will go into explaining demonism more in depth as the comic goes on. I just didn't want it to get super bogged down with backstory. And you do have some pretty big major players who are intentionally trying to rekindle the emergence of demons because it benefits them in a way to do so. And so that's really what the Buddha is concerned about, is that there are people intentionally wanting to make people suffer. You know, they want people to be miserable. And I recognize I'm like, and I say this jokingly, but also kind of for serious. I'm definitely a filthy communist in terms of, you know, economic beliefs. And so a lot of it, too, is, you know, the preying of capitalist systems on people and making them literally turn on each other like animals, right? Which is at least why, in my version, these people have animal characteristics, because they're being reduced to something that they're not, you know, and that something that they're not is an animal in its nature. But people are more enlightened than that. You know, you have the opportunity to be something better than that. But the question is will you take that chance, you know? How many times we gotta teach you this lesson, old man? Yeah, sometimes that happens to people, you know? And it really depends on each individual's choice, you know, whether or not they decide to learn those lessons from their past life, or if they just choose to continue to do the same vibe. And it's hard to say. Some people take that chance, some people don't. And there's no way of knowing if you've been trapped in that reincarnation cycle or not. Which is why we get the forgetfulness soup. I don't remember what this fucking dumpster looks like. Dumpster? we go. That's the dumpster that I want. This is the dumpster that I know and love. I recognize a lot of my shit has been very anti-capitalist lately, but I don't care. I know I know what happens to me. I'm American and I'm very pissed off. Yeah, I think another thing that deeply influenced this comic too was seeing specifically Falun Dafa. I think is that their Falun Dafa? Is that the thing? No, wait. Oh yeah, Falun Gong. Yeah, no, it is Falun Dafa. Yeah, Falun Dafa. These people are crazy. These people are crazy. This is a Buddhist cult. This guy believes that he is the reincarnation of the Buddha, and the reason I ended up finding out about them is because they put on this cultural performance here in the U.S. called Shenyun, and their tagline this year, I shit you not, is Shenyun, China before communism. But looking into their principles, yeah, there's the new side. Yeah, this is holy shit. Yeah, so they're not bad, and the spreading of the Chinese arts is obviously very, very good. That's the reason that I went, was because of that, and there is a very real thing that China is doing everything that it can to effectively neutralize all belief systems within mainland China. So they're trying to homogenize beliefs in China, right? In the same way that the U.S. tries to do this as well. So this is not a unique phenomenon to just us. Or to just them. But they're doing so in a really authoritarian way, which isn't great. So Shenyun is a direct response to that, and furthermore a direct response to Maoism or Maoist communism, which arguably traumatized a lot of people, so I definitely don't blame them for that. But Falun Dafa is run... It is, in its essence, is run by a cult. They believe that, people of mixed race can't get married or they're going to instantly burn in hell. LGBTQ plus people are not allowed to exist. It is the most radical form of Buddhism I've ever seen in my whole life. I don't even think that it could qualify personally as Buddhism. It goes against the precept of, one of the major precepts of Buddhism is treat all people as you would yourself. It does not do that. So very weird. So I remember going and seeing that for the first time and seeing how heavily influenced they were by propaganda and how anti unity they are. It was very strange. And so I feel like that also ended up being kind of a commentary in here. Why would the Buddha reincarnate? There's not just one Buddha. Buddha is more of a title. So you have the Tathagata Buddha or Tathagata Buddha. And that guy is the OG Buddha, he's the original Buddha or the supreme Buddha, but there are and have been hundreds of Buddhas. So the Buddha himself is not it's not like Judeo-Christian God where there's one God. Anybody can become a Buddha. So he's just claiming he is the newest Buddha. And thereby taking a very strange stance. He's effectively claiming that he's Jesus Christ, is what this particular Chinese man is doing. It's very weird. Which one are you talking about? This is a cult called Falun Dafa, or Falun Gong sometimes. Falun Gong. Yeah, Falun Gong is its particular thing, but they practice Falun Dafa. Or Falun Gong. This is their symbol. I don't consider them a Buddhist organization personally. It was founded by Li Hongzhi in China in the 90s. So very weird. They're considered terrorists in China. Now, granted, nothing is wrong with having anti-governmental stances to in any regard, right? And that's not why I'm not a fan of them. But they have a lot of weird shit going on with the Trump administration as well. It is messy. I was Googling it while watching the show, and I was like, this is insane. Absolutely bananas. And not in a fun way, in a bad way. I was going to make a long-form YouTube video at one point that was titled, Oops, I accidentally watched a show put on by a cult, and then I ended up not doing that. Because I was too tired. I'm too lazy. But, like... I think there's a lot of commentary to be had, point being. There's a lot of responses that people are having to the current state of the world, and not even just, like, specific administrations or anything. Like, definitely not, you know, targeting specific people or things like that. It's really the oppression of people on a mass scale is causing people to have these kinds of responses, and it's hard. It's hard for people to process that. Some people process it in a very healthy way, but people are ultimately looking for an out, and that's really what I think Falun Dafa is. Falun Dafa is the Heaven's Gate of Buddhism, in my opinion. I haven't read the religious text that he provides, so I can't speak on that, but... And it's a shame, because we should celebrate Chinese culture, but it was the most propaganda-ass show I've ever seen in my whole life. It was crazy. What Buddha do they claim to be a reincarnation of? In this case, the Tathagata Buddha. In this case, he's claiming to be the supreme Buddha, which is, again, that would be like if somebody popped up in America and was like, I'm Jesus, and then didn't really have any ability to prove that. Like, they just proceeded to run around and then blame, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like an equivalent in a U.S. context. Like, if they blamed Christianity as a whole, all of Christianity, for the downfall of man, and then told everybody that they needed to, you know, convert to their own specific religion, or the rapture was going to happen. Like, that's the kind of language that these people are using. And then also at the same time, they are also saying things like, you know, if you are in an interracial relationship, you don't get reincarnated, and you get sent to Chinese hell, effectively, for living that way. It's very strange, and it's definitely not representative, obviously, of any of the beliefs of a majority of mainland Chinese people or the Chinese diaspora as a whole. It is a very weird thing. I should have known when I walked into that building and there were no Chinese people in the building, and it was just a bunch of white people that were coming to watch the thing. I should have fucking known. I should have felt it in my butt. But I wanted to see the fun dances. So it's a very effective tactic to spread propaganda, I think, in its nature at the end of the day. But kind of a bummer. So yeah, thinking about that logistically, that's also a pretty significant reason why I think I wanted to work on this project, or some of the themes that I'm carrying into this project, is that anybody can be converted to a cult if you try hard enough. And even people with very good intentions end up also being kind of shitty people. My cat got up onto my lap and he really wanted forehead kisses. He, like, tilted his head up at me so I would give him forehead kisses. I'm sorry. Oh my god, Mr. Man, why are you so cute? Holy shit. I'm sorry. You're so cute. Oh my god. Why are you adorable? He's just, like, heavy breathing. Buddy. Ew, you're snotting all over. You're putting so much snot on my drawing tablet, sir. This is nasty. This is gross. Yeah, there's a lot of different interpretations of reincarnation, but the origin for most modern beliefs of reincarnation comes from Hinduism as a religion. Hinduism is one of the oldest active religions on the planet. If not, I think actually the oldest. But a lot of Buddhist ideas came from Hinduism specifically. It's just a non-religious interpretation. Like Buddhism, you can practice as a religion, but you don't have to practice it as a religion. So you can be a Christian Buddhist, for example. You don't have to convert to Buddhism, so to speak. Some practices of Buddhism do treat it more like a religion, but it really depends on who you are talking to and kind of what the overall sect of Buddhism is. Most of Buddhism is just like understanding that there are certain, like, again, the precepts that you should follow, you know, things that are just generally there to make you a good person, and then like everything else you can do, literally anything else that you want, as long as it doesn't harm any other people. So it's not an exclusive religion in that way, or philosophy, I should say. But everybody kind of handles reincarnation differently. Even like more Western ancient religions believed in reincarnation. So like the Maya, for example, they believed and still do believe in reincarnation. So there are many paths, but the most commonly understood is the Eastern Eastern path of reincarnation. So it's like the Buddhism, Hinduism family. I don't know much about indigenous, like ancient indigenous American reincarnation and their belief system, so I'm definitely not like a good person to speak on that. I am kind of a noob in that regard. This is also Vienna Ditto, by the way, so this is the vibe for that video game for sure. I love their music. It's so funky. Like, I don't know. It's got the good shit. A lot of my stuff I recognize has like a lot of like religious deconstruction themes in it, but that's because I was traumatized by Christians. So I have plenty of like wonderful Christian friends. I know what happens to me. I tend to handle like a lot of topics in a very like deconstructive way, for sure, simply because of my history, I recognize. This guy is having a wipeout. Yeet. He's fine. I'm actually gonna do like just kick up lines here. Tap into your past 3 lives with one of 3 abilities. That's cool, and you can take the appearance of someone from your past life, and then it sounds kind of like the Avatar state, sort of, because I think that they played around with that in Avatar as well. The Last Airbender, there was a little bit of some conversations, at least with the Avatar specifically, having the ability to some extent communicate with your past lives. So I thought that was pretty neat. But that is pretty sick. I think that we could learn a lot from our past lives. Past life regression, like as a therapy, like a philosophical therapy, is really popular. I personally have not done it. I know that there are many a place that you can do that here in the U.S. where you effectively go to what I would describe as the most woo-woo place on the planet, Sedona, Arizona. And you can go do past life sessions with those people there as well. So I've never done one of those, though. Sedona, Arizona is a wild fucking place. There's lots of white hippies over there. Even more white hippies than in Boulder, and that's saying a lot. Told us we would see all our dreams and plans unfold. Yeah, I realize a lot of my fiction has to do with the idea of like loss of control and like what humans do in those situations when they are no longer in control of what they have in their environment, right? And with that, I recognize that even the oh, that's not what I wanted. Even like this game, this upcoming game is going to be that too. It's trying to sell. Whoa. Oh, when I was a little kid, I'd tell my grandma about a past life I had living with my grandma and grandpa in the middle of nowhere. That's fun, though. I don't know. I've had some very interesting experiences. Like, I recognize, while not very many... Like, I don't know. I actually can't say that not very many people share my beliefs because I think now people are more open about talking about these kinds of experiences. But, like, I myself am very, very psychic. I acknowledge, and I am unafraid to admit that kind of shit. But I've definitely had psychic experiences in dreams, and because of that, that's resulted in a lot of, I don't know, pretty interesting experiences, I think. But I have had past life experiences in dreams before, and was able to back them up with research, which I think is pretty interesting, but it hasn't happened often enough for me to be able to say that, like, yes, I can, access these kinds of experiences. I'm an expert in these kinds of things. Like, I wouldn't claim that, I don't think. There are some people that are way more tapped into the Matrix regarding that shit than I am, for sure. I am merely a plebeian. Just a guy. Only kind of psychic. A mid-level psychic, if you will. But it is some interesting shit. It's kind of hard. What makes these kinds of experiences difficult is having to ask yourself the question, is it just autistic pattern recognition out the whiz-wham? Or is there something more there? And that's where, like, research, I think, is helpful in these instances. It can get tricky to navigate. Actually, I didn't need that color. I needed this one. I like to consider myself a friendly skeptic. If I can get more confirmation of something that I'm seeing or experiencing, the better off I am. But I tend to be pretty skeptical until I can gather that information. Alright, see you soon, Gabriel. Oh, I missed this crotch. Quick. Quick, fill it in. Alright, we're alright. I'm okay. I like having conversations like these, though, because it makes my brain itchy. What the fuck am I looking at here? Oh, that's his. Okay, alright. I was like, what did I draw? Okay. I found it. I understand. I'm okay. But yeah, I think I'll definitely be keeping a dev diary once I start creating a plan for this thing that's more concrete. It'll be kind of fun. Why are you... Go contiguous, that's what I want. Jace has been trapped at the hair salon for a while. Let me report this bot. Get out of here. Get out of here. So actually I need to go in here with this because that is also black. Get in there. Okay, slowly but surely. Mr. Man is just sitting on the floor, just like wheezing intensely. I'm like, are you good? You good, buddy? He's like, ah! I don't know why I keep going to other documents for these colors that I now have on this thing. I am a fool. Nope, stop it. Stop it, bro. I don't know why my brain is like this. Whee! Whee! If I can get through this page today, I'm going to be very happy. I recognize that this page was low-key kind of a nightmare. That's a shiny thing. Just one heckin' shiny boy. Alright, so now I need like more impact lines, but I'm not sure. I might actually do some interesting shit where I blur this. I don't know. Are you dying, Mr. Bubs? Come here, buddy. Are you dying? Please don't slip and fall on me. That's really scary. Okay, come on, bud. Come on, you stinky boy. I don't know. Do I want to blur this? Come on, bud. Come on, buddy. Oh my god, he's so stinky. Why are you so stinky? He's so smelly. Alright, so let me see. I may kind of go like this. Oh my goodness gracious alive. What is happening right now? Why are you so stinko? You're so smelly. Alright, so now, if I have this locked in here like this, what I can do is erase out everything but the hand here at the bottom. Yeah, nice. Now I guess I have to just do like this. Mr. Bubber, why are you smelly? Mr. Bub says hi, everybody. Hold on. He says hello. Hi. This is how I have to work. I have to work with him wanting to throw his whole face into my head. Then he makes little biscuits. Why? He's so gross. Oh my god. Oh my lord. Okay, I'm putting you down. Get out of here. He's so stinky. Alright, buddy. Sir, amigo. Mr. Bubber, you're stinky. Do you want me to feed you? Is that what's happening? Is that what's going on? Do you need assistance, Mr. Bubs? He says, if you don't feed me right now, I will poop all over you. Okay, so I have about 30 minutes left of stream, actually, so I'm probably going to finish this panel and then just go feed him, because otherwise he's going to be kicking my mouse all over the fucking place. He's sitting very delicately not on my mouse. He's really thinking about it though. Actually, I don't want this on this layer. I'm full of lies. I'm the one who tells the lies. I'm going to be quoting that for the rest of my life. Gooseworks really kind of fucked me up a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I will be on my deathbed being like, I'm the one who tells lies, and no one will be able to stop me. I am screwed forever. I kind of want... I don't know. Interesting. Everybody should hydrate. By the way, do that. That's very important for your life. And stretch. We got a whole self-care combo. Stretch. Stretch, you fiends. Mr. Bubs, you're making this so difficult. Hold on, Bubbert. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, Bubbert. Oh, my God. Oh, my Lord. Sir, 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 sir. Another one. I made love to another one. Mr. Bubbard, I'm just saying I don't like that. I'm actually just gonna blur the ever-flying fuck out of this thing too, I think. Oh, you're watching the thing now. I made love to another one. I'm gonna really blur the ever-flying hell out of this. Let me put this behind. And I'm going to erase out everything but this guy going, oh no! And then I'm going to duplicate this, merge, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. And we're going to erase everything out but the background. And then I'm going to go like this. And then delete. Oh no, wait, wrong way. Okay, let me go really quick and feed my Mr. Man, because otherwise he's just going to continue to sit on the desk and then I'm not going to be able to do anything, so I will be right back. I have returned. Mr. Man has been satisfied. I haven't listened to this playlist in a really long time. Alright, also everybody be sure to do that self-care combo as well, because that shit's important. It's important for well-being. Okay, explosions, explosions, explosions. Where is... Actually, this is fine. Always the rhythm in the world, she said. Always the rhythm inside my head. Always wondering where we'll come again. Always a big old place in me. Yes, a big old world in me. It's killing me and everything conspires. In dreams I washed in sins. The violent crack of atoms are all that rush in. In dreams I wade in sin, I just be the crack in the kettle. I'm really excited to work on this game finally. I've been like wanting to do it since my thesis, you know, like it's been effectively 10 years since I thought about it. And I'm very excited to actually like get to do it. Always a riddle in the world, she said. Always a rhythm inside my head. Always a wonder when we'll come again. Always a big old place in me. Yes, a big old world in me. I've lived it so long. Dreams I walked in sin. See the violent crack of atoms are all that movement. Can not sets. Where to begin? I actually don't like that. I live alone. I live alone. Life without you. And I may be troubled. Gracious. Maybe. I do not need this page no more. I need this one. Mr. Bubs, you're being violent. I don't know if you guys can hear him. Oh my god. He ate and then decided that he needed to go beat the ever-flying shit out of his scratching post. It was very important for his well-being. Actually, you know what? Well, no, this will be okay. Oh, there's a missing line. Ah, I'm dying. Okay, but actually, I might complete this thing before it's time for me to go. Wouldn't that be crazy? That'd be pretty fucking nuts. That would be indeed cuckoo bananas. Actually just going to go in and fill in this line here because that's going to make it way easier for me to do this. That guy being unconscious is really funny, actually. He's me. He's like, my body. Why would I do that? That is the wrong color. Yes, I know. It's like there's no pixels selected, and I'm like, I'm aware. I understand. Whee! I had somebody on Webtoons tell me that this was their favorite webcomic that they were reading right now, and that made my heart feel good. Oh, did I? Okay, hopefully no one will notice. I forgot to put in Wukong's tiger skin, but I think if I just ignore it, it'll be okay. I'm not going to think about it too hard. I'm just going to kind of pretend like it's not happening, and then if I Just dream. If I hold the dream in my butthole, everything will be okay. Just don't think about it too hard. Yeah, right. You guys are the only ones who know the secret, so you guys have to take it to the grave now. I don't think anybody will, to be honest. I typically tend to be... I don't know. So far, no one has said anything weird. Anytime I've, missed something on a page or something, nobody has said anything, so I'm pretty sure it's just me that knows that this happened. And if I just, don't think about it, it'll probably be fine. I tend to be pretty, chill about those things, or if it's a mistake like that, it's pretty hidden on the page, so to speak. Hard to spot. It's very rare for there to be two tiger themed things on the same page. It just means Wukong's gonna steal the stuff. I'm not even mad about it, Boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. If I can get through all of this in the next 20 minutes, I'm genuinely going to be very impressed. I've got the power. If I believe really hard, I can do it. I just have to keep dreaming. Don't stop believing. Hold on to the feeling. I'm sorry. That song haunts me, actually. Every single school dance that we had, somebody would request that song, and so I literally can't go anywhere without that song in my brain. Horrifying. Guess I'm gonna have to do that manually. Honestly, it's so funny. There's such a specific subset of people that are just very passionate about Wukong. And I do think that that's silly. Because, at least in this comic, he's not a good guy. For the first, good chunk of it. He's just kicking the shit out of everything that he sees. And so I do think it's funny that I've been getting a lot of comments of people being like, oh my god, he's so cute. Oh my guys, he's beating the shit out of people. Are you guys okay? He's not doing good things. He's actually highly problematic. He gets better, but goddamn. He does steal a lot of stuff, though, and he will only continue to steal more stuff. That's going to be the lesson here. He's like, you forfeited your chance at keeping your stuff when you decided to be evil. Actually, I think this is also the same color. Hello. Okay. Let's get this going here. At least Wukong gets better. That's all I gotta say. Is that... Oh, I forgot he had a tail. I think I've been drawing him without a tail this entire time. That ain't good. Hold on, this might be an error, actually. That is really bad. Let me see. That's okay. It might be this page specifically is a problem. And this page is a problem. This page, I could say it's kind of hidden behind him, so I'm not worried about that. This page, though... Dang. Unless... No, I gotta fix it. I do love my mechanical keyboard, though. It's one of my favorite things. Alright, so now I've gotta actually just fix this bastard. It's alright. I am a dumbass. That's the secret here. So I'm actually gonna do this. Actually, I should do this on a new layer, because what I can do... So this is $70. So let me go in and very carefully put that in like that, and then I'm gonna go like this. I am so dumb. I'm suffering. You open back up. This is what happens when I'm not paying attention, guys. Or when I take too big of breaks in between stuff, because I think that that's actually what happened to me here. Okay, so now I'm going to merge all three of these things together. We're going to open up, first we're going to save this out as page 270 for print. This is an easy fix. Then I'm going to open up page 270. And then I'm going to take this thing, we're going to Control A, Control C, and then over here we're going to Control Shift V. Then we're going to take this, we're going to turn it to 22. Then I'm going to enter it, we're going to drag it down so that it's in the right spot, and thankfully, actually I'm not suffering, we're okay, we're alright. We're okay. I'm going to merge this together, we're going to save this out, and then we're going to pretend like it never happened. Great. Don't think about it too hard. Save this. Stupid tiger. All right. Now let's go fix that, because that's something that's really important. Curse you, stupid tiger man. This is somehow all your fault. Okay. Now I need to erase this. Another reincarnation. My made-up mission. Okay. We're alright. I don't even know if there's any dialogue on this page. We're going to find out, though. Unfortunately, I can't dick around too much because I do have office hours right after this. But maybe if I just don't think about it too hard, I'll be okay. We're getting pretty close, though. Oops, not that one. I wonder when Jace is going to get home. Oh, he's coming home soon. I will work at the speed of sound. Thankfully for these really tiny panels, it does not have to be precise in like any way, shape, or form, and it's alright. I can just kind of work at the speed of sound, and it's alright. As long as I don't forget anything dumb, like a tail. My god. I get an F. Thankfully it was an easy to fix thing, and it was really not that bad. Could have been much worse. He's dying. He's okay. Oops. Almost there. What if I just don't do my office hours at all? What if I just abandon these children? What if I just eject myself into the sun? And I just low-key forget I exist. I just kind of don't do anything. Oh my god, but I did it. Okay, let's go see if there's any actual... Oh, I still gotta do special effects. We got it. I wonder if there's any dialogue here. I don't think so. We'll see. The sun, the smile, and cut me like You want me to come now, child. Tell me such a part of you. The years burn. Oh, the years burn. You. Okay, let me find this dang page here. Is there any dialogue? No. Thank God. Okay, we're done. Okay, let's get this all onto one page. Here we go. Part of me kind of wants to, like... Why did I not bring this down here any more than I needed to? I might do that instead. I like that more. And also, too, I would like to move this just a touch over, actually. Okay, now, let's save this out. I feel like I went so fast just then. 277. We're almost to fucking page 300. That is insane to me. Brush Buddy from Witch Hat Atelier. I will have to look it up after stream, but I will look it up. Because I gotta kind of fly. I got 3 minutes before I'm supposed to be in office hours. I'm okay. I'm alright. I realize, like, looking at my pages, my panels are way fucking smaller than most webcomics, and I don't really feel bad about it. I was, like, looking at other Korean webcomics, and holy shit, their panels are huge. Like, they, make each panel the width of the, entire page, and I just don't do that. I don't know if that's, like, a design preference or what, but they're so fucking huge. Okay, I'm done. I did it. Alright, so to wrap up stream, we did this today. I'm moving on to this next set of dialogue pages where they talk shit for each other, or at each other for a hot second, and then Wukong proceeds to continue to beat the shit out of them. So, I'm going to hydrate, I'm going to go, I have to go meet my students in office hours, so I will be back on Monday with 2 streams on Monday. One is a commission stream, and the next one is our special Court of Snakes live reading stream, so be sure to have a good weekend. I will talk to you all then. If you have not followed the Court of Snakes backer kit, you definitely should do so. The link to that is over in the Discord, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.